The woman staggers through the cottonwood grove, barefoot, in February snow. Blood on her dress, not hers. She falls twice before she sees the cabin light. A single window, burning gold, against the dark mountain. Her feet have gone numb. She cannot feel if the ground still holds her or if she floats above it. The cold is a living thing now, inside her ribs, slowing her heart. She reaches the door, and her fist strikes wood, once, twice. The door opens. A man stands in the frame, backlit, tall, broad through the shoulders. A beard obscures most of his face. Holds a rifle loose in one hand, barrel pointed down. His eyes move from her face to the blood to her bare feet. He does not speak. She tries. Her lips crack. Please. He steps aside. She crosses the threshold, and her legs give out. He catches her before she hits the floor, the rifle clattering aside. His hands are careful. He lifts her to a chair near the stove and wraps a blanket around her shoulders. The warmth hurts. Your feet, he says. His voice is rust and gravel. He kneels and examines her soles. The skin is torn, blackened in places. He fetches a basin and fills it with water from the kettle. Not hot, lukewarm. He sets her feet in the water, and she gasps. Burns worse if it's hot, he says. She nods. He stands and moves to the stove, ladles something from a pot. Brings her a tin cup, broth. She drinks, and the heat slides down her throat like salvation. How far did you walk? I don't know. Where from? Blackwood. He goes still. Blackwood is 20 miles south through mountain passes. In bare feet. I ran. He absorbs this. His gaze returns to the blood on her dress. Are you hurt? No. Whose blood? She meets his eyes for the first time. They are gray as winter sky. She sees no judgment in them, only waiting. My husband's. He nods once, rises and goes to a trunk in the corner, returns with a clean shirt, wool socks, a pair of worn boots. These were my sisters. He sickes. Thou won't mind. The past tense hangs in the air. She takes the clothes. He turns his back and tends the fire. She changes, clumps with cold and exhaustion. The shirt hangs to her knees. The boots are too large, but the socks help. Thank you, she whispers. He faces her again. You need sleep. They'll come looking. Let them. They'll hang me. His jaw tightens. Not here they won't. She searches his face, finds something immovable there, something that decided the moment he opened the door. Why, she asks. He looks at her feet in his dead sister's boots. 3 weeks pass. She learns his name is Caleb. He does not ask for hers. She offers it on the 5th morning, standing at the stove, while he splits wood outside. Nora, she says when he comes in, arms full of pine logs. He nods and sets the wood down. Nora. The way he says it sounds like a door unlocking. The boots fit better now. Her feet have healed pink scars, mapping her journey. She wears the same wool shirt and has washed her dress 3 times, but the blood remains in phantom shadows across the fabric. She watches him. He moves through the cabin like water finding channels. Economical. Nothing wasted. He rises before dawn and tends the animals. 2 horses, a milk cow, chickens that scratch in the snow. He chops wood, repairs a saddle, carves something from cedar she cannot identify. He does not touch her. At night, he sleeps on the floor, near the stove, while she takes the narrow bed. She is offered to switch. He refuses without explanation. On the 19th, she speaks more than 2 words. "They branded you a killer," she says. He is mending a harness, his hands still. "I heard talk in Blackwood," she continues. "Before. They said a man named Caleb Brennan shot 3 men in a saloon in Wyoming. Said you fled across state lines." He sets the leather down. But I know the truth." His eyes lift to hers, gray and steady. "You weren't there," he says. "I know what I see." "What do you see?" She gestures at the cabin. The orderly shelves, the clean floor, the careful way he handles living things. A man who tends what matters. Silence fills the space between them. Outside, wind moves through the trees. "They came for my sister first," he says finally. "The men. She worked in the saloon. One of them decided she was his. Didn't matter what she said. Didn't matter she asked him to stop." His voice remains flat, reporting facts. "I stopped him. The other 2 drew on me. Self-defense. Sheriff was the first man's cousin." Nora nods slowly. Understanding arrives complete. "So you ran." "So I ran." He picks up the harness again. "Been here 2 years. Nobody comes this far up the mountain except to disappear. Like me. Like you." She rises and moves to the window. Snow has begun falling again, soft and steady, covering tracks, erasing history. "My husband drank," she says to the glass. When he drank, he used his fists, his belt, whatever was close. I learned to be small, to be silent. She touches her ribs, where the bruises have faded to yellow ghosts. That night, he came home worse than usual. He had lost money. He wanted to take it out of me. Caleb's hands stop moving. "There was a knife on the table," she continues. "From supper. He went for it. We fought. I don't remember deciding. Just the knife in my hand, and then in him. And the blood. So much blood. He died. I didn't stay to find out." She turns. Caleb watches her with those winter eyes. "I never asked if you killed him," he says. "Why not?" "Because even if you did, he earned it." Something breaks open in her chest. Not grief. Recognition. "Even the truth won't set me free," she whispers. "No," Caleb agrees. "But you're free here." He returns to his work. She returns to the window. Outside, the world turns white and clean. That night, he still sleeps by the stove. But she notices he has moved 6 inches closer to the bed. Spring comes slowly to the mountain. Nora plants a garden in the thawed earth behind the cabin. Caleb breaks the ground with a spade, turning soil that smells of rot and promise. She follows with seeds saved from his sister's trunk. Carrots, beans, squash. Her hands remember this work from childhood. Before marriage, before fists and silence. My mother had a garden, she says, pressing seeds into dark earth. She said anything you plant with your own hands belongs to you in a way bought things never do. Caleb leans on the spade. Your mother was right. They work until the rows are straight and the soil is dimpled with potential. Her dress, the blood-stained one she has worn for months, catches on a fence post and tears. She stops, stares at the ripped fabric. I'll mend it, Caleb says. No. She strips it off, standing in the wool shirt that falls to her thighs. Burn it. He takes the dress. That evening, he feeds it to the fire. They watch together as the fabric blackens and curls. When the blood-dark stains catch flame, Nora breathes out, something she has carried since February. The next day, Caleb rides to town. She watches him descend the mountain trail, fear sharp in her throat. He has not left the cabin since she arrived. Now he goes for supplies, for fabric to make her a new dress. Stay inside, he told her before leaving. Don't answer the door. He returns at dusk. His face is stone. What happened? She asks. He unloads supplies without speaking. Coffee, sugar, flour, 3 yards of blue cotton. Finally, he sits and rolls a cigarette with deliberate care. Man at the store. Jenkins. He asked about smoke from my chimney. Said he'd seen it steady all winter. Asked if I had company. Nora's hands still on the coffee tin. What did you say? Said I didn't know what he meant. Did he believe you? Caleb lights the cigarette. Exhales smoke. No. She sinks into a chair. They'll come. Maybe. You should send me away. His eyes snap to hers. No. Caleb. I said no. He stubs out the cigarette. I knew the risk when I opened that door. I'm not a man who takes back shelter once it's given. Even if it costs you everything? I don't have everything to lose. But she sees the lie in his jaw, the tightness. He has built something here on this mountain. A life measured in wood smoke and animal sounds and silence. She threatens it simply by breathing his air. That night she lies awake planning her departure. In the morning, she wakes to voices outside. She rises and peers through the window. 3 men on horseback. Jenkins from the store. The sheriff from the valley town. A 3rd man she does not recognize. Caleb stands in the yard, blocking the path to the cabin. Morning, the sheriff says, Sheriff, we're looking for someone, woman, wanted for murder down in Blackwood. Nora Hayes. You seen anyone matching that description? Nora holds her breath. No, Caleb says. The lie sits naked in the morning air. Jenkins shifts in his saddle. Funny thing, Brennan. Your chimney's been smoking all winter. You cooking for ghosts? I'm cooking for myself. Mind if we look around? I do mind. The sheriff leans forward. Now, Caleb, you're not in a position to be uncooperative. Man in your situation. With your history. Caleb's shoulders square, but he steps aside. Nora moves fast. She slips out the back window as boots hit the porch, runs for the tree line. Behind her, she hears the cabin door crash open, shouting. She does not look back. She runs until her lungs burn, until the cabin is invisible through the pines. Then she stops, bracing against a tree, and lets the truth settle. Caleb did not protect her. He stepped aside. She is alone again. She makes it 5 miles before the horse finds her. Not a stranger's horse. Caleb's bay mare, saddled and packed. Nora stops. The mare nickers and approaches, pressing her soft nose to Nora's shoulder. Tied to the saddle is a bedroll, food wrapped in cloth, a canteen, money in a leather pouch, and a note in Caleb's careful hand. Falau. The Ridge West. Cross at Miller's Ford. Town called Redemption, 60 miles on. Tell them you're my cousin. Use the name Brennan. The money will see you through until you find work. I'm sorry. She reads it twice. The mare waits patient, a stone. Nora looks west where the ridge climbs toward sky. Then east, back toward the cabin, hidden in the pines. The choice sits before her, clean as split wood. She could ride west, become someone new, bury Nora Hayes beneath a borrowed name, and build a life from borrowed money in a town called Redemption. Or she turns the mare east. The sun climbs overhead as she rides. The cabin appears through the trees just as shadows lengthen toward evening. Caleb sits on the porch, his head in his hands. The horses are gone from the paddock, the chickens silent. He looks up as hoofbeats approach. His face transforms. Relief, confusion, something deeper she cannot name. She dismounts, ties the mare, climbs the porch steps. You came back, he says. You let them in. I know. You stepped aside. I know. He stands, hands hanging useless at his sides. I thought if I cooperated, they'd leave faster. I thought you'd have time to hide. I thought... His voice breaks. I thought wrong. What did they do? Searched the cabin. Tore through everything. Asked questions. I kept saying no. Kept lying. Jenkins didn't believe me. But the sheriff couldn't prove otherwise. They left after an hour. Said they'd be watching. So they'll come back. Probably. Nora looks at the cabin, at the garden plot where green shoots have begun emerging, at the window where lamplight used to burn gold in the darkness. I got 10 miles, she says. Had a horse, money, a new name waiting, everything I needed to disappear. Why didn't you? She meets his eyes. Because you sleep on the floor to give me the bed. Because you burned the dress without asking why. Because you planted a garden with me knowing I might not stay to harvest it. She steps closer. Because this is the first place I've been free since I was a girl. You're not free here. They know. I'm free from him. From fists and fear and being small. She touches his chest, just over his heart. The truth won't set me free from the law, but it already set me free from him. Caleb covers her hand with his. His palm is warm and calloused. They'll come back, he repeats. Let them. Nora, I spent my whole life running. From my father's disappointment, into a bad marriage, from my husband's violence. I ran here through snow, in bare feet. I'm done running. She squeezes his hand. If they come, we face them together. If they take me, at least I chose to stay first. Something shifts in his expression. The stone cracks. I won't let them take you. You might not have a choice. Then we'll make one. He pulls her close. She fits against him like wood grain aligning. They stand on the porch as evening settles, two people branded by violence, choosing shelter. Inside, they unpack the bedroll, move her few possessions from the traveling pack. Caleb takes the money pouch and tucks it high in the rafters. For when we need it, he says, not for running, for building. That night, he does not sleep on the floor. They lie in the narrow bed, clothed and careful, her back to his chest. His arm circles her waist, protection and promise. Outside, the mountain breathes. Stars wheel overhead. The world continues its turning. My sister used to say something. Caleb murmurs into her hair. She said, you can't find a home. You have to build it. One day at a time. One choice at a time. Wise woman. She was. Nora laces her fingers through his. Then we build. Then we build. Spring deepens into summer. The garden grows. The carrots push orange shoulders above the soil. Bean vines climb their poles. Squash sprawls golden across the earth. No one comes up the mountain. They wait anyway. Together,